Hello everyone, and I have one more here in awesome Pillsbury chess game to show you. Pillsbury was playing with the white pieces and his opponent was Augustus Cunningham. He was American Civil War veteran. He fought in the American Civil War and he survived. So he was a veteran and he was a brave man. And at the same time, he took great interest in chess. He was a chess player as well, as he was a member of the Providence chess club, and he even became the chess champion of his own state. So Mr. Cunningham was born in 1841 and he passed away in 1907 at the age of 65. And interestingly, he even played a chess game against Pillsbury, but Pillsbury was blindfolded, and this was a chess simul against 12 chess players simultaneously in the year 1900. So let's see what happened. Pillsbury starts the game with e4, e5, knight to c3. We have the Vienna game and the Vienna Gambit. Accepted. Knight to f3, g5, h4, g4. Maybe defending the knight comes to mind, but Pillsbury played knight to g5. And black can actually trap the knight with pushing one of these pawns. So the knight is going to get trapped. Did Pillsbury blundered when he was blindfolded? Well, actually, he didn't blunder. I mean, this was a common idea and this is playable. It is not a meaningless move. But black preferred d6. Maybe he thought that Pillsbury was planning something. What happens if pushing the pawn? Let's say if h6, then knight takes on f7 and bishop check is possible, so is queen takes on g4. And the king is exposed and white has a pretty flexible attacking position. So you can see that the king is very exposed, but this is very risky for white because white is losing the knight. In this position, if f6, this is a different story. This is not good for black because this is opening the diagonal to the king and the king is not safe. So queen takes on g4, and if capturing the knight, then check and bad things are going to happen to black. So this is just one example. Okay, so maybe this is what Pillsbury was planning. He didn't blunder when he was blindfolded in this position, I think. So this is why Cunningham played d6, opening the bishop and defending the g-pawn, and then d4, bishop to g7, bishop to c4. The f-pawn is under siege, and white already has a nice attacking position. So knight to h6 defending the f-pawn, knight to e2 and attacking the f-pawn, f3 defending the f-pawn, takes, knight takes, and black castled. I think even though black has managed to castle, the g-file is open and black has no g-pawn that covers the king. So I think this is not a very good position for black. It looks dangerous and black's king safety looks a bit compromised. So against Pillsbury, this would be very dangerous. So bishop to g5, but the f-pawn is pinned, so defending the queen. So you can see that white has a very nice flexible attacking position. Queen up. So Pillsbury is planning to castle from the queen side, and that looks very good. So king to h8, unpinning the f-pawn, castling from the queen side, f6, defending the bishop. Bishop to d2 was the best move, but Pillsbury has chosen the super aggressive rook from h to g1. What an incredible move. Very aggressive and risky. But this opens up the position. Black accepted. Black still has to find the best defensive moves when the position is so open. And also we can see that white pieces are so well placed. So defending the knight, but black looks very cramped. Rook over, so the queen and the rook is aiming at the king. Queen to g6 and rook from d to g1, developing the knight. Black wants to free his position. Knight to h4, giving the boots to the queen, and then c3, knight to a5, knight to g3, capturing the bishop, c6, defending on c7, queen to d3, again aiming the pawn, bishop to e6, finally developing the bishop at move 23. And Pillsbury played knight from g to f5. Slowly his knights are getting closer, and this looks dangerous for black, even though black is a piece up. So can you see the threat in this position? Black played bishop takes on f5, which was not the best move. Knight takes was better, but if some random move, then knight takes knight, and if queen takes knight, knight to g6, forking the king and the queen, the h-pawn is pinned. So this is why eliminating the knight, but watch this. Look at these pawns. It looks so cramped and passive for black. How to defend against f6 forking. It looks extremely difficult. So in this very difficult position, black played king to g8. So Pillsbury's pawns are looking extremely strong, and Pillsbury simply pushed the pawn, forking two pieces, and this is too much. This was too much for Mr. Cunningham, so he decided to resign in this position. Actually, he had to resign. That was a good decision. This was not a premature resignation. So the possible continuation, if bishop takes, that's not a good move because of capturing back, and that's check. And if moving the king, check, check, and this is just one example. And if king to h8, can you see the best move for white in this position? Let me give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. If you want, you can pause the video. Did you see forced checkmate? Well, blindfolded Pillsbury was not going to miss this, I think. Queen takes on h7, sacrificing the queen, and then discovered check, double check, only move. The king is stuck. This is checkmate. What a checkmate, isn't it? And so this is why capturing back with the bishop was not a good move. And let's say in this position, if knight to d5, which looks like a sensible move, then capturing the bishop, and if king takes, check, and this is bad after pushing the g-pawn. So if rook to f4, this is engine's choice, then g6, and white is still much, much better. Okay, so all of a sudden, we can see that this position is extremely difficult for black. So this is why black decided to resign after moving the king, and then Pillsbury simply pushed the pawn and punished his opponent. So okay, what a game. What an amazing chess game. After his extremely aggressive sacrifice, he has managed to defeat his opponent, even though he was blindfolded. Pillsbury was incredible. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this chess game, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.